All right, what's going on, everybody? This is James with DadLore343. Today we're going to be talking about one of my more unique weapons, the PTR 32 pistol. Let's get into it. Just for posterity, no bullets in the mag, no bullets in the chamber. Yeah, so pretty much this is my PTR 32. It's like an MP5, but it's for men. Actually, it shoots the Lord's caliber 7.62 by 39, a big AK bullet. It makes a big boom. And the recoil impulse is pretty strange on this bad boy. But yeah, we'll start getting into my story of how I got this. Pretty much, I did not intend to buy this. I actually went to an auction, a gun auction, with one of my good buddies. He's actually the guy that sold me my Wazzer 10. And yeah, basically we went to the gun auction. I think I was intending to buy something else, but that went sky high, and pretty much I landed on this thing. There was some other cool stuff at the auction. There was like a 911, a Porsche 911 Turbo that I took a picture of. A bunch of other cool stuff. But this is what I ended up getting that day. Pretty much it is just a 7.62 by 39 big boy MP5. At the time, it went for cheaper, I think, because it had this ugly looking butt cap on the end of it. No brace, no extension for a brace. And then this is a Palmetto State pistol blade brace, HR15 or something like that is what they call it. But this is a pistol brace, not a stock. Just FYI, because this is a pistol. But yeah, pretty much. So we have the pistol brace on here. I bought this M4 receiver, AR-15 receiver, standard buffer tube extension to put on there. I think I got it from HK Parts. It works great. It's been awesome. This is how I ran it the majority of the time. Going forward, we got a basic standard PTR trigger pack in there. I do wish that it was the more cooler looking HK one that has the little bullets instead of just safe and fire, but it is what it is. I guess I could always swap it out. I think this takes all HK91 parts too, pretty much. This is based off the HK32. So the HK91 is the battle rifle in 7.62 by 51 or 308. The HK33 is the 5.56 version of the rifle, and I believe the HK32 is the 7.62 by 39 version of the rifle. And now I don't think the HK32 actually went anywhere in real life or military contract wise, but PTR obviously made a version of it. And so kind of my thoughts with this was to make it a PDW, because at the time when I bought it, 7.62 by 39 was actually cheaper than 5.56. I think I remember the 5.56 version of this went for a lot more. And my other thought on it was that 7.62 by 39 out of a shorter barrel does a lot better than 5.56 out of a shorter barrel. You don't need as much velocity because there's more oomph behind that round. There's a lot more weight behind it. So that was my thought on it. But yeah. Oh, I love doing that. That's so fun. So I ended up getting this, and my buddy ended up getting the 308 PTR sniper rifle version of the PTR. And it's basically, HKG3, I guess, with a fluted barrel and an M-LOK rail on it. But essentially, this is a version, or sorry, a generation 1.5 of PTR, because they have the Gen 1s, and then now they have the Gen 2s. This is a 1.5 because of the muzzle threads on it, and the little M-LOK handguard. Which actually this M-LOK handguard is not very good. It's you can't throw a lot of stuff on there. It's not a standard M-LOK handguard, so it doesn't work like 100% correctly as I think it should work personally. So that's kind of a bummer with it, but I think it looks cool, which is 90% of it is looking cool, obviously. So we got the standard HK91 or PTR trigger pack in there. And then I've got this little 20 round Magpul mag because that's what I think it looks the coolest with. I mean, what do you guys think? This is the mag that it actually came with. It looks more like a traditional AK mag. I don't know if you guys like the more traditional long boy or if you like the 20 round Magpul mag. Personally, I like the Magpul mag. I think it makes it look more like a PDW, something more compact and maneuverable. But like I said, my thoughts behind this was to make it into like my go-to like PDW type gun. But then when I got it in my hand, I realized how loud it was, how much it recoiled. Pretty much all the there's a lot. It's longer, fully collapsed than my 10.5-inch AR-15 pistol. It is a lot heavier, and there's just a lot more downsides to it than a shorter like 5.56 weapon. So basically, I decided to not really use this as my go-to PDW style weapon. It's just kind of more of a range toy now, which a lot of my guns are obviously range toys. But yeah, that's pretty much. We got a nice welded rail on top of here. I love that. I've got a little cheap Primary Arms red dot sight. I do like that I can use the red dot sight, and then if the red dot sight ever goes down, I can still see my iron sights through the red dot sight, which I think is a great feature. I really like being able to use backup irons. I think it's a huge plus on a weapon. I think being able to shoot backup irons is also a huge plus. So you need to also be training with irons, in my opinion. It's a good skill to have. You don't need to do it. Maybe like just some of the time. Maybe every other time at the very end of your range session, you use some irons or whatever it may be. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a great little gun. It served me well. The recoil impulse is really interesting with it. I mean, I don't know how other roller locks are. I'd like to get my hands on some more roller locks. I've been really debating the CA3 Century Arms G3 build that they have out. I know those are probably hit or miss, but I know PTRs are also hit or miss. Thankfully, this one has been good. I don't think I've experienced a failure with this at all. But the recoil impulse, it feels like it's like chugging up and down. You can feel like the doo-doo, and it kind of like it comes back and then it goes forward. Like you can feel those rollers coming back into you, and then you can feel them chugging forward. So it's just a really kind of push and pull recoil impulse. Anybody that shoots this, they're kind of like, what the heck, man? That's really weird. But it's super reliable. Like people will say, the AR-15 poops where it eats, and the G3 roller lock design diarrhea is where it eats. But that kind of gives way to the extreme reliability of these weapons. I mean, you see tons of these still around being used in like conflicts in Africa and things like that. There's nothing. I mean, you can beat on these all day, and they're going to keep going. I mean, those are specifically the G3s that I'm thinking of that people use in Africa still. But and there's no tuning to it. There's nothing to fiddle with that you can mess up like the FAL with the tunable gas system. I guess it's more meant for like a conscript military than the FAL is more meant for a professional military. But yeah, I mean, this is just a more unique weapon that I have. This is my only roller delayed blowback. Like I said, I'd be interested in getting more. It's just not really in the cards right now. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a nice looking gun. It's not quite my favorite. I still think my favorite looking weapon is the Israeli Galil. I love this thing. I think it's fantastic looking. But I do think it's pretty cool. It's definitely not another AR-15, which is a big thing, I know, or at least that was one of the things I set out when I started collecting guns. I said I don't want to be the person that just has a closet or a safe full of AR-15s. I want to have a little bit of variety, because variety is the spice of life, as they say. I also wanted something that I could do the HK slap on. That's a big deal, so let's do it. Oop. Damn, I can't believe I missed that. Unbelievable. But yeah, I wanted to be able to do the HK slap. And I also, at the time, I had my Wazr 10, and that was my like primary go-to weapon. I like that it shares mag compatibility with my AK. I like that it shares ammo commonality with my Wazr 10. And I've also got an SKS now, so I've got 3 guns chambered in 7.62x39. I like that it can shoot 7.62 by 39. I'm not losing a ton of velocity out of that like I would be. So I think this is an 8.3 inch barrel. If anybody knows, or I'll try to put it above if I can find it. But if you're shooting 5.56 out of an 8.3 inch barrel, you're going to lose a ton of velocity. But with the 7.62 by 39, you're not losing as much velocity as you would with the 5.56, and you're going to have a lot more knockdown power with that much heavier 7.62 round, or 7.62 by 39 round. I've tried to put a can on here, but these threads are really strange, so I'm going to need to get a some sort of adapter for it. Obviously, these are, I forgot what twist rate these threads are. You can see I've got my nice little sling loop there because it's got a sling point. I've got this colorful little piece of twine or whatever it's called, paracord, for my sling, just to have a sling on there because I think it is important to have a sling on a lot of weapons. But yeah, I mean, just let me know your thoughts below. It's a pretty cool gun in my opinion. I do not plan on selling it anytime soon, but these are discontinued and they're rare, so they go for a lot of money. It's definitely worth more than what I paid for it at the auction. I did pay a good bit of a price at the auction at the time, but I'm glad that I have it because I don't know if I would ever get a chance to own another one of these again. So I'm glad that I have it in my collection. I think it's a pretty cool, unique gun and a somewhat unique caliber, but it's also still available. 7.62 by 39 is probably one of the more prolific calibers in the United States, behind 5.56 obviously, but it's not the first to go in some sort of like COVID event. You know, like during COVID in 2020, we could not find any 5.56 or 9 mil. So I mean, I think it's good to have backups like, you know, something like 7.62 by 39 and something like 40 cal or 45 or 380 or whatever pistol caliber you may choose. But yeah, so let me know your thoughts below on roller lock guns. I would love to get an MP5 at some point, MP5K obviously, because I don't want to have an MP5 that's the same size as this gun. I'd rather something a little bit smaller, obviously. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below, and I really appreciate everybody watching. Thank you so much. Have a good day. God bless.